President Cyril Ramaphosa says there are still laws in Africa which discriminate against women. He says crimes committed against women and children undermine the ambitions of the African Union. The President was speaking at the African Union Gender Pre-Summit in Addis Ababa in Ethiopia. The summit aims to advance women's rights, financial and economic inclusion, and ending gender-based violence.
Violence against women and children and young girls undermines our efforts to realize the aspirations contained in the UN's Agenda 2030 and the AU's Agenda 2063 in relation to the Africa that we want. Achieving gender equality and empowering women and girls was a focus area during South Africa's term as AU chair in 2020. Some of the high-level actions I identified when we were chair at the plenary included a rapid review of discriminatory laws related to violence against women in all African countries, for there are still quite a number of discriminatory laws against women. The second one was the development and adoption of an AU Convention on Violence Against Women. The third was advocacy for the ratification of the ILO Convention 190 on violence and harassment in the world of work against women. And the fourth one was women's financial inclusion. Of course, 2020 was the year of COVID-19, and we had to rapidly change gear to devote our attention to managing this pandemic. However, we did not let this pivotal issue fall off the agenda or by the wayside. On reviewing discriminatory laws through a partnership with the Center for Human Rights at the University of Pretoria in South Africa, we conducted an initial literature review on laws that perpetuate violence against women and girls in the region. This was followed by a more in-depth study covering 25 countries across diverse geographic, linguistic, and legal systems on our continent. This work will be an important foundation as we develop and adopt a convention. It provides updated information on the status of women's rights, the status of violence against women in these countries, and the legislation that is in place in all these countries. It identifies gaps and makes recommendations on how to address them. It is a start, does not encompass the entire continent, but it is an important study that is going to be able to stand up as a mirror so that we can look at ourselves in terms of the laws, the conventions, and the practices that we have on our continent in many countries